And I come from Salzburg. I started my career with an apprenticeship with A-level in a small original bank in Salzburg. After 10 years, I recognized it's time for a change. I started a part-time study at the University of Applied Science in Kufstein. I'm working in the Sparkasse Kufstein, and I am responsible for the sports sponsoring and also for organizing events. The range of projects are wide, and that's because it's never get boring. I was also a student at the University of Applied Science in Kufstein and was searching for a sponsor of a practical project. And because of that, I get in contact with the Sparkasse. Most helps me is practical projects, because to plan something in theory is not the same as to do it in practice. Also, the sport part was really interesting for me because I needed now in sports sponsor. What I like best is that everyone can have their own responsibility and that you can develop yourself. I think it's really important that new ideas are welcome. I would advise that every student should collect as much practice as possible until you finally know in what you want to specialize. Keep attending training courses. We also offer internships, so when someone is interested in a bank, please contact us because we have many different departments such as HR, marketing, risk management, the housing department. So if anyone would like to collect practice, please contact us.
Hello everybody, thank you for your patience. We're so very excited to this time have a wonderful guest out of culture department. So teams and technique this semester just don't seem to be our friends, but we are even more delighted to have all of you guys with us. So just a few points for you to pay attention to. Please keep your cameras and audio off so that also people who maybe don't have the strongest internet connections still can take part with this live stream. Also, we wanted to turn your attention to this live stream that it's being recorded, so that hopefully if everything works out with FH, we will be able to put up a recording on YouTube for you guys to also enjoy it later on. So, not to lose any more time, but still to have enough time later on with the questions, let's start with the interview and our very first guest for this year, second guest of the season. Hello, welcome back everybody back to the My Way live stream. We're so happy to have you here with us again. Today, we're having a look into the Salzburger Festspiele with our wonderful guest, Laura. So, let's go inside and have a look.
Hi and welcome back to another My Way interview. We're here in Salzburg today with Laura Hüttmann at the Salzburg Festival, and we're here to ask her a lot of questions about her career. She started as a police officer and then she changed her path completely. So we're here to know a little bit more about it. So looking back from the beginning, where everything started, can you tell us a little bit about your career shift?
Well, I know that my career is not like a typical one. So I started working as a police officer. I studied at the police academy. I did my bachelor there and worked as a police officer for 12 years. But I really love skiing a lot. And maybe you remember that I said that I'm from Hamburg. So in Hamburg, we don't have the options to ski. And so I was thinking about how I could change this. So I was thinking about moving to Austria for some time. So I took off an unpaid holiday, moved to Austria. But I knew that when I just lived there, my parents would get very nervous. So I was thinking about maybe I can just study something during the time and then find out what I want to do. And so I found the FH Kufstein with a sports, culture, and event management study. And I thought, well, I like sports, I like events, and I like music, so perfect combination. And so, yeah, I did the study there.
Okay. So you found it interesting because it was a 360-degree subject.
Yeah.
And
But at this moment, I was not sure about what I want to do with that. I just thought, okay, well, at least I have a master, and then I can see what I want to do, because I know that it was something totally different, but it was a great start for me.
So you chose part-time also because you felt the need to work while you were studying, because you moved away from Hamburg, you changed your career because you didn't want your parents to, invest on something completely different.
I was just too old at this point. I didn't want to ask my parents for money, and I thought maybe I have the chance to get some experience. This was the plan. Actually, the problem was that I was living in a very touristic area at this point. I was living in Salzburg, and there it was easier to find a job in the tourism. So I started working in a hotel as at the reception first, which was at least an experience. And then I shifted to work in a fashion store. And beside that, I was always working as a ski instructor, which was actually the best part.
And would you think that, looking back, those jobs were useful for the career that you built?
Well, I think every job you have is helping you, because at least it shows you what you don't want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. But so you said that you didn't really know, you didn't have a dream job when you started studying at the SCAM at the
Well, I wanted to find out if there would be an option beside working as a police officer, because I really loved doing this job. And then during the study, I felt that it's very interesting, much more interesting than I ever thought. And then I wanted to work in the tourism association first. This was my plan. I never did it, so I changed. But the longer I studied, the more I liked the whole topic. And I saw that there are so many different options what you can do afterwards.
Yeah. So, yeah, can you tell us a little bit of how you got here and what is your job about today?
Well, first, I did something in between police and event management. So I was responsible for the safety and security in the stadium of Red Bull Salzburg. So I was organizing the whole security staff who was working there. So it was a job in between, but I wanted to do more event management. So I saw this job and I thought it's a great option because Salzburg Festival is well known. And yeah, I asked for this job and I got it. And I really like it until now. So I started 6 years ago and still think it was the right decision.
Would you say that everything that you did before helped you? We said, of course, everything helps to understand what you don't like, but also, do you think that also university helped you with the theoretical knowledge, that, or is it more important to get practical experiences, in your opinion?
Well, I think both is important. So the practical and the theoretical stuff, but I think which helped me a lot was also the work as a police officer. In my opinion, what is very, very important are the social skills. And if you have to do with so many different people and the job of a police officer you have, it helps you in all situations. And especially that I have a very big team. So in the summer, I'm responsible for 250 persons. It's good that,
you know how to deal with people.
To deal with that.
Give orders.
And especially every day I meet people, our guests, and most of them are friendly, but sometimes, of course, you have guests where you have to say, okay, this is the rule and you can stay and follow this rule. It was very, it was a big problem during Corona times where everyone had to wear the mask. So of course there were people who did not want to do that, and then you have to deal with that. And so first our ushers try it, and then they call their supervisor.
Yes.
And when they cannot do anything, they call me. And so I always was the last person who had to say, okay, you can wear the mask or you have to leave. And this always happens 1 minute before the show starts, of course.
Yes, so speaking of 1 minute before the show starts, I think we all now know the feeling. Before we continue with the second part of the really interesting interview, we wanted to let you know that we would really like to invite you all to ask your questions via the chat. Our wonderful chat support, Laura, is all the time saying them to me so that I later on can tell Laura-Isabell in Salzburg the question. Yeah, so please feel free, ask your questions in the chat. And now we will show you a little bit around the location where you maybe could potentially work in the summer. So let's see what there's to see. So we just had the first look at this wonderful location, but look how special this is. We are literally in the mountain. So now let's go and hear about the second part, what Laura has to tell us about this wonderful location. Let's have a look.
So we're back after a change of location. Do you want to say something about this new scene?
Yes, so this is the Felsenreitschule, one of my absolutely favorite locations here. It is a big theater. It has a capacity of 1,500 seats. And yeah, you see it's a great scenery. So this is actually the Mönchsberg, so a real mountain. And I think it's very unique. So probably everyone knows it from Sound of Music. The last scene was filmed here on the stage. And yeah, I think it's very cool. I like to be here.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about the Salzburg Festival. What kind of people it attracts and what is your job here?
Well, the Salzburg Festival is a very old festival. It's over 103 years old. And every year about 250,000 people are coming to Salzburg from about 80 nations. So it's very international. And we are very well known for our theater, opera and concerts. Mm-hmm. So we have about 200 shows in 14 different locations. Mm-hmm. So it's very big, but it's busy, but I like it.
So you can say that you have very difficult kind of days at work, or would you say that you have a routine that every day is the same?
Well, no, it's never the same, but still you have kind of routine. I do it now 6 years, And I really like that it's not like one day is like the other one. It's good that you have a mixture. Sometimes everything is running well and some days are super chaotic. But I think the goal is that the guests are not realizing that.
Yeah, exactly. So how would you say you deal with all the issues and problems that can happen in the events? As you were saying, events management is always about problem solving.
Yeah, troubleshooting all the time. Well, this is what I really like about event management. You have to be spontaneous. You need very often a plan B, but you get more used to it, and then you're not like super stressed. You say, okay, this did not work out. I just need another plan, and then you make it. So I'm head of event management, sale, and ushers, and so I have like 3 different fields where I work in. So I'm responsible for all of the event which are taking place here. And beside that, I'm renting out the house to other hosts of events. So we have all different types of events here, like classical concerts, pop concerts, rock concerts, ballet, incentives. So if you like to have a big party here, you can just rent the house. So we have like 3 different big theaters, plus a lot of different type of rooms which you can hire. And then I'm responsible for the guided tours. So we just met a tour here. Yeah. So we have like every day we have guided tours here, but also like private bookings, because it's I think kind of interesting because it's a very old building. It has a great history, and so it's worth going there. Yeah, I'm responsible for the ushers. So during the season, there are like 250 ushers working for us, and during the rest of the year, so we have about 80.
Okay. Yeah, it's still a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people, but I think it's a good mixture, and it's not like every day is the same. It's every day is different.
And what would you say is the best part of your job?
Well, I think there are so many good sides of it. So first of all, I really like the environment. I think it's a very nice building, and I like Salzburg. And I think it's very interesting because you have the chance to meet so many different people, so a lot of international guests, but also, I don't know, who can say on a normal working day that you meet Angela Merkel or Macron or whatever. So this is nice as well, but also having the option to see so many different shows. So of course I can see the operas, the concerts, but also the other events happening here. Yeah, I really like the field I'm working in. Okay. And I think it's great that I have the chance to improve so many different processes, and I have nice colleagues. So
that's important.
If you look for a job, so you should really think about coming to us.
Going back a little bit to the beginning, you said that your dream was to live in Austria because of nature, because of skiing and all of this. Would you say that you still achieved that dream, even though you changed the field and now you're working in this more cultural environment?
Well, I would say I have a lot of skiing days still. So I have about 70 to 80 skiing days every season. So I think kind of a lot. For a few weeks a year, I take holiday and then I work as a ski instructor at the Arlberg, which is fun. So I would say goal achieved.
Goal achieved, absolutely. What advice would you give to students? Do you have any advice when getting into the working environment?
Well, I think it's important to be self-confident. Even maybe you did not have like a lot of practice, but still you have this study. And I think, as I said before, it doesn't matter what job you have. You always can learn something. Just trust into yourself or believe into yourself.
Specifically, when it comes to event management, would you say that there are some advices that you feel like giving?
Well, I think when you look for a job, you should not, in event management, there are a lot of not good paid jobs. And then you should think about if this helps you in your career or not. So if you think it helps you, it's okay to do a job for a while. But there are also jobs which doesn't help you because the job itself is not very good. And then it's not okay to be like paid so little. I just know that I had an interview in a company, and they were like, the whole company was crap. The interview was awful. The boss was treating me with just very low respect. and they never gave me an answer after the interview, and they still invite me every year for the Christmas party. So maybe this year I'm just going, even I never started working there. So yeah, I just think that you should think about if it's helpful for yourself or not.
Yeah, so that was it with our pre-recorded interview. Now I'm really excited to welcome our guest here with us. You should shortly see her on the screen. And yeah, hello, Laura.
Hi. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you so much again for having us at your beautiful location. I think we, really got the look around of all of it, of the basically art department, of the wonderful concert hall offices. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. So I think, without further ado, let's start with the questions. And since we were just talking about what kind of job you should or could take, I think this question is really fits really good. Is your current job the first job you got, or did you have a possibility to climb up the career ladder at the Salzburg Festspiele?
Well, I applied in event management in the department and started as a normal staff, and then I become head of department. So now I'm the boss in the department, but I started normal, and it took about 1.5 years.
That's a really, really nice timeline.
I was lucky.
Yeah, sometimes you need that in life. What part of your studies prepared you to coordinate so many people? I mean, you were basically talking about a few hundred.
Yes, well, in the summer I have to coordinate 250 people, which is quite a lot. But I think you just learn by doing. So I never learned it in the study, but you have to deal with a lot of different people in different ages, and well, I think which is very important that you treat the people nice with respect, but still, I'm a kind of strict, but like all the time very friendly.
So is it still like from your police days where you're kind of strict, know where to go?
Well, yes, maybe.
That was actually one of the questions also. Do you think you will ever go back to being a police officer?
Well, I think sometimes about it, but I think I won't, because I'm now very free. I can build my career like I want to do it. And when you work in such a strict business like police, this is not possible. This is the first thing. And the second thing is that in Austria, I'm not allowed to go to the police because they just, I have to be Austrian then, and I'm German. And so in Austria, I wouldn't have the option, and I really enjoy living here. So I think I really like to do what I do now.
The mountains were calling. So actually, when do you still think like it was like the right decision to start again studying in a different country, and when your main reason was to basically live here? Or would you say maybe that is not enough as a reason to start a study so late in life? I mean, it was not so late, it was basically still in your mid-20s, right? So
yeah, well, I think it was 28, so I did not feel that old. But I think what was good for me, that I knew at this time that I do it just for me. I didn't do it for my parents, I'm not doing it for my teacher, I'm just doing it for myself. And so I took the study very serious, and I was always the one sitting in front row and not playing with my mobile or whatever, really listening. And this helped me a lot with the study, so it was not that complicated. And I know that it helped me a lot.
Actually, thank you very much for this answer. I think, even in our studies now, there is a wonderful Carol, and she is basically in a retirement age, and she is, loving studying because she's doing it for herself. And I think that is a big, important part, which we all, at least as master students, can, put on our flag so that we know why we're doing that. this is actually, yeah. Did you ever have to throw somebody out?
Well, actually, yeah. It's a funny story. I was called because I heard that there was a kind of fight during an opera, during our Salzburg Festival. And so when I came there, everyone was very hectic, and I just tried to figure out what was happening. And then I found out that a guest was hitting another guest on the head who was sitting in the row in front of him, because these two guests were kissing too loud in his eyes, and he had the he had the feeling that he cannot listen good enough to the opera, and so he thought it's the best option to hit the other one. So yeah.
Oh,
So but this is absolutely not normal. So
oh,
it was a very special day.
So who actually had to leave? The person who was sitting or the loud?
The kissing one, the one who was hitting the other person.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Okay, so everybody, if you ever go to the opera, you know what to avoid.
Yeah, don't kiss too loud.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness! Yeah. So I think a lot of people are really interested in getting an internship actually at the Salzburg Festspiele. So you really made an impression. And they want to know what types of internships are possible at the Salzburger Festspiele and what is the best way to apply.
Well, of course, you find a lot of information on our website. We also have an open house day on the 23rd of February. So when you're interested, you could come around. We have a lot of different jobs in the house, not just in event management. I think we have 63 different jobs in the house, so really a lot. And of course, we have some open jobs you can just see on the website, but also you can just send us your what you want to do, and then we could see if something is possible. And the internship is not that hard to get. So just you can just contact me, for example.
Good to know. That's great. So are probably in the summer, are all employees or are there also volunteers needed?
Well, we don't have volunteers, so everyone who works for the festival is paid by us. We have about 1,500 people working in the summertime, plus all of the musicians like the orchestra, the choir, whatever. So in the summer, with all these, it's sometimes between 5,000 and 8,000 people. And during the rest of the season, we have 250 people working here.
That is quite a different number, yeah. But even more fun in the summer when everybody comes together. When one of us wants to work there in the summer, is it possible to basically work in all departments or find a job in all the departments, or is it just selected ones that make a summer job possible?
Well, nearly all of the departments have to grow in the summertime. So of course you have to be early enough, and we have a lot of people who come here for more than 20 years every summer. So it's not always possible to get into the department you want to, but of course just check out the website.
Great. Back again to the jobs. Do you also hire international people, or is it a requirement that one can speak German really well for all the positions?
Well, no, we are absolutely international. And for example, our head of theater, who started last year, she is from Russia, and I think she doesn't speak German at all, so she's just learning it now. It's theater, so of course it's good when you have the chance to communicate, but English is fine.
Now, this is again a question for you actually personally, which I find actually really interesting. Do you now have your dream job that you aspired in the next that you aspire to get, or is there another dream job you hope to get in the future, climb up the ladder?
Well, I really love what I'm doing now because I have a super nice team. I have great colleagues. I love the environment. I love Salzburg. I have the possibility to work at different times, so I can ski as as you know a lot. And so I think right now for me it's just perfect. But you never know what happens in a few years.
When you say, yeah, I mean, of course, going skiing and so on, how does your work-life balance go? Like, is it really easy? Because, I mean, you have all this kind of concerts and everything often in the evening. So how do you manage that with also meeting friends, keeping up with family? I mean, it's basically open 7 days a week, right? So how is your schedule then?
Well, I think it's good that I work in the event management, so I'm just used to it, having like very strict time plans. So I really try to put as much as possible into one day. And there are times which are more busy, and there are times which are a little bit lower. Yeah, I think the good thing about my job is that the focus is in the summertime, and so the wintertime is a little bit easier for me.
Take a breath again. But I mean, when you're there for basically going skiing and so on, it's the perfect schedule for you. So heads up for choosing the right career, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was to that. When it comes to being hired at Salzburg Festspiele, are there certain qualities you think or characteristics you think are really helpful to aspire to get when you want to work at Salzburg Festspiele?
I think it absolutely depends on the field you want to work in. Because we have just too many different jobs here, so they have all different qualifications. So it's hard to say that you need a specific one.
Okay. Back again to your studies. What helps you most out of what you learned during your SCAM studies here and your current job?
I think it helps you that you see that there are like a lot of different options first. What I really liked about the study was the people who came from different fields and talked about what they are doing. So you were inspired by them a little bit, and you understand a little bit what you're doing. You have a little bit an idea of the culture, of theater, of sports or whatever. So I think it just helps you that it's very wide.
That is so cool. Did you study, prepare you for this interview situations? I think last time we had actually, a little bit background history to that. Last time we had Thomas Schrammel here, who is actually the PR coordinator for the Austrian ski teams. And well, he basically told us, he is always preparing his athletes, but he never really was in a situation himself where he has to be in front of the camera, since normally he pushed his athletes in the front. So I think, that is a little bit history behind this question. How is it for you?
Well, we have a press team, so normally all of the media stuff they are responsible for. So I'm not used to it, and I did not prepare for that.
When one wants to be part of the summer team, are there any basically workshops or so one should prepare for beforehand from the Festspiele? Maybe for the usher or so, stuff you need to know.
Well, for the ushers, after the interviews, we have like 1 or 2 days where we have like different workshops where the people get used to what they should do. They see where everything is, and they're introduced. They get their uniform and that stuff. And of course, if you're in a different department, of course you will get an introduction as well.
What kind of events are actually happening there in the Salzburg Festspiele? I mean, we saw on our way that you have some really great halls. There are also not only the concert halls, but other rooms also. What kind of events are happening there?
Well, in the summertime we have theater, but the theater is not taking place here, except the Jedermann, which is our most and well-known theater, which we have like 100 years long. And then we have operas and concerts, so classical music concerts, and we have also a program for young people, but this is not in this location. We hire a lot of different locations in whole Salzburg.
So wait, didn't you tell us something about that there are also some parties and so? No, there was like that companies come there to like make some commercials and so on.
Yeah, well, we of course out of the festival season, it's possible to hire the Festspielhaus. So we have all kind of different concerts here: pop concerts, rock concerts. We have ballet. We have of course classical concerts as well. We have like at the weekend we have a children theater. So like it's very it's very colorful, I would say. And of course, companies can come here as well for incentives or different events. We just have to make sure that our sponsors are not a problem. I would say, because, for example, we got a request from Mercedes, and our sponsor is Audi, so of course we cannot take this company. So we always have to be like kind of careful by picking our clients. But we have all kind of different events here, and parties as well. So private parties, but also like we have had parties from Red Bull. I think I told you about this party when you were there.
Yeah. This other kind of are they also part of the program you publish on your website, like when you're saying about the hired events, or are they then only published on the organization side that is hiring groups?
So we're not publishing them, so they have to make their own promotion, because the problem is we have a very our name is very well known, and of course a lot of event hosts want to use our name for promoting it, but it's not, the people are not going to the Salzburg Festival. They are just going into the Festspielhaus, and it should be like the people should know that there's a big difference, because in the summer we have like a very high level quality, and during the rest of the year we cannot guarantee that because we don't see the show in advance, and so we have to make sure that the people know that there's a difference.
Keeping up the standard, basically, yeah. So
we have to check. We have to check the host as well. So when we know that the quality is not good enough, we say it's not possible that they can come here. But sometimes you don't know. You have to find out.
It's a surprise. I mean, that can be part of the interesting side of the job. If you know everything beforehand, where's the fun of it?
Yeah, it's a learning.
Yeah. So with a look at the clock, let's come to our last question. Who was the most surprising guest you have ever met?
There were so many very surprising guests. Like, we have a lot of politicians, of course, coming every year. So as I said in the interview, nearly every year Angela Merkel is coming. We had Macron here. We had the King of the Netherlands. We had all kind of different royals here. So but also like stars from movies. I think it's every time very interesting to see how they treat other people, and the more important they are, the nicer they are, and if they are not that important, they are like kind of arrogant, and it's very easy to see if someone is important or not, mostly.
That is really good to know. And I think, yeah, a lot of people who has maybe worked at some sport events or so in the volunteer part in the VIP lounge can, yeah, say that you're totally right with that.
Well, you just have to listen for the sentence when they say, "Don't you know who I am?" And then I know, okay, that's important.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for answering all your questions. Is there anything you wish to additionally, yeah, give us all on our way?
Well, as I said in the interview as well, I think it's important to believe in yourself, be self-confident, and never give up. And if you ask for a job and you don't get it, just try again and try to go on another way. And you should do something you really enjoy. So I think you just work too much time in your life, and you spend so much time there. You should really do something you like.
Thank you so much, Laura, for your time and also, yeah, for all the cool things we were allowed to do at the Salzburg Festspiele. I think a lot of people are now quite interested in coming over to the summer and, yeah, being part of your crew. But before we all turn off, of course, we need a little bit of your help and ask you again for your feedback. So, yeah. Please look in the chat. There will be a link where this time you can win some tickets for the cinema here in Kufstein, which is actually closing at the end of the year. So yeah, grab the really nice vouchers. So yeah, 2 vouchers for 1 lucky winner so that you can take your special person with you and enjoy one of the last performances in the Kufstein cinema. We also really thank all of our sponsors. As you can see, Sparkasse ÖH, really great again, like the Festung Kufstein also have this. We couldn't have done it with also, and of course, FH Kufstein. The studio, yeah, it's lovely to be back here. Thank you all for the resources and for being here. Without further ado, I will say goodbye, good night, and we are really excited to also tell you that the next live stream will be on the 6th of February. This time it will be again in the sports sector with the company Bora. And we will talk about the event side of things for their bicycle, for the cycling team. So have a really great and wonderful night and see you then in February. Bye-bye.